Hi there, I'm Caroline and I'm going to take you through a recipe, and it's a vegetable lasagna, and I'm making it, instead of using mince, we're going to be using tofu in it. Okay, so here's some of the vegetables I'll be using. I have some eggplant that I have salted, and one reason why people do that is to draw out any bitterness that might be in that. Next thing, I've got some sliced pumpkin, or some people call it squash, and I have some spinach over here which I'll be chopping up shortly. And here I have my tofu. I've used a shredder to shred it into little tiny straws, but I'm just going to break it up a little bit so that it's a little bit more like mince when I've cooked it. I'm going to put some chopped onion in this frying pan, add a little bit of oil and quickly stir it so that it browns. There's just a little bit more oil. So here we are a couple of minutes later, and our onion is starting to brown. So I'm going to start adding my tofu next. So now I'm going to add my tofu into the pan. I'm going to add a little bit more oil. And I'm going to start adding some soy sauce, which is a really great ingredient to use in tofu because it's flavour. I have two types of soy sauce here. This is a naturally brewed type, which really has very basic ingredients. Okay, so here's our ingredients: water, soybeans, wheat, salt. That's it. Okay, a very basic type of soy sauce. This is the one that I tend to use most of the time. This is another type. As you can see, I've used it well. So again, it's got water, soybeans, salt, sugar, and wheat flour. But in the process that they use to make this, it's a lot darker. So when you're using a recipe that has soy sauce, you need to watch that. If I was to use the same amount of this type of soy sauce that I did of this one, the recipe would be quite different. This is that second type of soy sauce I've just added. You can see it's really, really dark. I've only just added a couple of teaspoons of it, and it's just made it incredibly dark. The flavour isn't that much different, but if you want to give that brown look like you would have with mince, then this is a good ingredient just to add a little bit of. And to this now I'm going to be adding some bottled pasta sauce. I have a steamer here, so I'm going to take some of my chopped fresh silver beet. You can use spinach or any other green that is convenient for you. I'm just going to quickly steam them just to wilt that down. I'll just quickly give it a toss. Oh, it jumped out. Come back. Okay. And it's steaming down nicely. It just makes it a lot easier when it comes time to actually make the lasagna layers. It doesn't. Okay, that's just great. That's just nicely wilted, that. Okay, so now we've got all of our basic things ready, so let's start putting it all together. I like to put some plain pasta sauce in the bottom of my container, and of course I've greased the container first so it doesn't stick. And then I start placing the lasagna sheets in. We're going to put down our pumpkin, or our squash, whatever you like to call it. So this is, now that I've got my pumpkin down, I'm going to place just a little bit of this over the top. The next layer will be the steamed spinach, and again I'm going to add, what I'm putting in on each layer is about a third of my tofu mince tomato paste mixture. And because the spinach is already cooked, I'm putting that in the middle, so I don't have to worry about it not cooking properly in this whole process. I'm going to add another layer of lasagna noodles now. And on top of this, I'm going to add my raw eggplant. So now that I've got all of my eggplant on top of my dish, I'm going to add the last layer here of my tofu mince. Cream sauce on the top of our lasagna. Now you may have your own recipe. I always use a non-dairy sauce which is based on cashews. It's actually really easy to make, and I haven't demonstrated it here for you today. I'm just focusing on the lasagna. I'll probably include the recipe in the section below this video. So you can put your sauce over the top. I like to sprinkle mine with some herbs, just to for decoration purposes. Okay, and so now we're going to put it in the oven, and we're going to bake it for at least 45 minutes, or even an hour in the oven. You'll need to check it at around about 30 minutes into its cooking time. If the topping is starting to brown, you probably need to put something like some sort of alfoil or silver paper or something over the top, just to make sure that the cream topping doesn't burn.